Hello and welcome everybody to another StarCraft 2 cast by Glitch. Today I'm going to be casting for you a best of 3 from the Battle in Berlin tournament that happened very recently. It just happened about, I don't know, less than a week ago. And it of course was in Germany, as you might imagine from the name Battle in Berlin. So there was some big news there, and that big news was, of course, right now, your eyes are not deceiving you. TLO is playing as ZERG right now. TLO actually has kind of swapped races again. We don't know how permanent this is going to be, whether this is just a temporary thing until he's gotten his hand injuries back in order. For a while, he did have some problems with his hands, was requiring to get some surgery, so he took a little bit of a break, and he came back and he said, you know what, guys, I'm going to be playing ZERG starting at this very tournament. So, spawning here in the bottom right position as the purple ZERG, playing from Team Liquid, we have TLO. Spawning here in the top left position as the red Terran, we have GoOdy. GoOdy is going to be playing from Team ESC Gaming, and he's a very, very good player. I'm so curious to know how this match is going to go, just because I really want to see how TLO is going to go. I mean, apparently he's now switched to ZERG and has been training as a ZERG player, so I really, really want to know what exactly his style is going to be like. Now, one other thing I'd like to mention about TLO is that this isn't the first time that he's switched races. He has actually switched races before. I think very, very early in StarCraft 2, he was Terran. Let's see. Hold on. Let me get this. I can do this straight. All right. During the beta, I know he played random. Then the game launched, and he started playing Terran. And then he switched to ZERG. And then he had this whole thing with his injury and was playing kind of random for a while. He was kind of undecided. And now he has switched back to... Wait, no. He switched to Terran once again. And then now he's back to ZERG. So there we go. I think I have got that right, if I am not mistaken. So TLO has played kind of flip-flop between Terran and ZERG for quite a while. GoOdy, of course, has been playing Terran for quite a long time, so he's going to be very on top of his Terran game and very up on his TVZ play. So we're going to have to see if he can't take some wins here off of the little one here in Game 1 on Antiga Shipyards. Now, one other thing I'd like to talk about is I'd like to briefly mention, of course, the tournament. For those of you that have never heard about Battle in Berlin, well, that is because this is the first one ever that has ever taken place. It's a small tournament. I believe they did have some qualifiers for it, but the tournament itself happened offline. It was actually held at an event center, and it was between 8 players. There were 8 players competing for about $10,000, all in one day event. So, yeah, there were a bunch of other really good players there. Stefano competed, Nurchio also competed. I want to say Rhett competed as well. Yeah, Rhett competed, Grubby competed, so a lot of big names at that tournament. So, I think it's about time that we jump into this game right now, because we are at the 4-minute and 30-second mark, and I haven't mentioned a darn thing about what the heck is going on in this game. So let's talk a little bit about that. In the base of GoOdy right now, he has thrown down a barracks, threw down one gas geyser and started to get down a factory here, but he's been denied his second gas geyser because TLO has been repeatedly gas stealing this one gas geyser. Now, it does, for those of you that don't know, it does take 3 Marines to out DPS the building of a Vespene geyser. If you're building a Vespene, if you're building a extractor over Vespene geyser, 2 Marines will not cut it. That will actually continue to get more and greater in health, but 3 Marines will be able to take it down. So it looks like TLO finally did end his gas steal there, but it looks like GoOdy's right now not even really wanting to take it all that badly. He doesn't really want it that much, as he still has not yet taken it. No expansion yet down for GoOdy. TLO, as we saw, was blocked from his hatchery here for a little while, decided to just throw it down right next to the engineering bay that GoOdy had thrown down here, and he's now just starting to drone that up just a little bit, and I'm sure very shortly we're also going to see a second hatchery go down here as well, and he will just use this one as his macro hatchery here, and I kind of like that from TLO. I think this is something that I've actually been toying with lately as well. It's something that I want to toy with just because it's so easy to get that early hatchery blocked, and since I generally tend to like to get up that macro hatchery anyway, then by throwing it down off to the side, you really don't lose a whole lot of mining. Yes, your drones move a little bit farther, have to go a little bit farther and work a little bit harder to get those minerals back, but it's really not so bad. Now, interestingly enough, TLO is getting up a lot of queens right now. So far, TLO does have 4 queens out on the map. He's still mining off of 1 gas geyser, and for now he's just droning up fairly safely. He's been in his bonus base, seen what his opponent is doing, seen the tech he's been going for, saw already that he's got a factory coming out, and there's not going to be any kind of big all-in attacks that are all bio-based. Interestingly enough, though, the starport has now gone down here for GoOdy, and GoOdy's now getting a tech lab on that starport, so it looks like after getting out 1 medevac, he's going to actually be getting out a Banshee here, going for some harassment. He does have a few Hellions here out on the field. He has just now loaded up this medevac with 8 Marines, and he's going to be dropping him onto the high ground, but TLO with that Overlord positioning is going to be able to spot this, but does he have enough forces? He doesn't have a whole lot of Lings currently out on the field. He's trying to decide what he wants to do. He's pulling some of his drones off the line, actually, to try to stop these units from being dropped up onto the high ground, and as you can see, those Marines are going to be dropped as well as those Hellions. This is very similar to that Slayer style build that got very, very popular there for a little while, and all he's got now is these few queens to be able to deal with this. He needs to pull those Zerglings back because these Hellions are going to be able to deal a lot of damage to those Zerglings, and it looks like all the drones have now been pulled off the line here by TLO, and they're all going to be at his natural now as he's trying to get a good attack angle, but now the spawning pool is now being focus fired, and TLO is just trying to find a good angle here to attack from. It's going to be very, very hard because GoOdy has pulled himself into this nice little corner in the back. Doesn't quite pull himself all the way up against the wall, though, and the Zerglings get quite a nice surround. Going to do quite a bit of damage, and it looks like those queens were focusing down those Hellions. Now more Zerglings are going to be sweeping in here to take out the rest of these Marines, but they've wedged themselves quite nicely into that mineral patch there and did quite a bit of extra damage that I don't think TLO necessarily needed to take there. But now TLO is going to be going on the offensive. Of course, he does have this macro hatchery up, and he's now going to be in full-out production mode, going to be sending these Zerglings across the map, and he's going to be very happy to see that no expansion has yet gone down for GoOdy, though we do have a command center that's now being floated down to that low ground. All these Zerglings now about to come breaking into that map. No, Automaton, I'm not trying to select you at all. And all these Zerglings now coming in, going to be able to deny the space from landing here for just a little while, because as you can see, lots of Marines up on the high ground, but that's about it. And by lots, I mean 3. Yep. All 3 Marines up on that high ground going to be able to defend against all these Zerglings. TLO in the meantime continuing to get lots and lots more drones, checking out that harvester count, 41 harvesters to 34, currently favoring TLO, and now it looks like GoOdy, he's saying, you know what, that is not a number of Zerglings that I can be able to take out. I'm going to pull back, I'm going to drop down my command center, I'm going to start to get that orbital command, and then I will go out when I have a little bit more forces to be able to sufficiently secure this base. Now GoOdy has swapped into a little bit more standard production right now. Siege Tech is currently on the way. Siege Tanks are on the way as well. Interestingly enough, he's building a Hellion right now, which is kind of an interesting move here by GoOdy, considering he's just going to have that 1 Hellion. He's got another one that's out roaming the map right now. He's going to be able to poke in here, see that his opponent hasn't quite yet taken a third yet. TLO sitting on 2 bases here for a little while, and oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, I missed the Banshees. I am the worst caster in history. We are going to back it up because here we go. Now the Banshees just now coming into the base of TLO right now. We are not going to miss that drop, and now they do have that cloak ability, so they are going to start to focus down that Queen. The Queen's going down rather fast. No lair tech up yet. Roachworm being thrown down. Evolution Chamber coming down as well. There is one up. Overseer just now starting to get morphed in, and these Banshees are actually starting to get quite a few kills here for GoOdy. So far, 9 worker kills for GoOdy, and these Queens trying to get a good angle, trying to stay under all these Banshees. These drones not being pulled off the line here, just being left, but the Overseer has just now spawned, and it looks like they are going to be forcing those couple of Banshees back. And what is GoOdy going to try to decide what to do? What is he going to do with these Banshees? Will he pull them back? He actually really needs to decloak them because they're just sitting here losing a lot of energy, and this one's about to actually be out of energy. There we go. That one is now out of energy, and the second one's running fast out of energy. In the meantime, GoOdy's trying to move out, trying to secure that base. 1 siege tank now on the high ground here at his natural expansion, and those 2 Banshees are now just going to be pulling back to his home base. It looks like, yeah, it looks like he's going to pull him back, repair, save up some energy, and we are getting a smidgen of lag right now, but that is being fixed right now as it is now bouncing back up. Maybe no frame rate, don't die on me. There we go. Frame rate's kind of coming and going here, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have to see what's going on. I'm going to restart my computer right after this game because I think actually my computer's been on all day and uploading videos for you guys to watch. And it looks like my Fraps is not happy at all with me right now. And oh my goodness, you know what? hang on 1 second here. Let's take a minute to pause, restart, and because yeah, this lag is getting unbearable, and we're still only at the halfway mark for this game, so hold on just 1 second, be right back. Bam! And we're back. Alright, we're back, and Fraps isn't freaking out. Alright, let's continue jumping right back into this game right now, guys. TLO right now has absolutely beautiful creep spread. That is one thing I've got to say right now. GoOdy's continuing this Banshee harass, but these other two Banshees are now pulling back, gonna get repaired up before being sent out once again, but man, that Banshee harass is being so annoying right now from GoOdy. He's doing such a good job of taking out drones, poking in all over the map, and TLO just trying to focus on getting those drones up. Right now, we do see roaches on the production tab. We do see +1 missile attacks on the way, as well as GLiTCHStarCraft reconstitution, and it looks like this Banshee has just now discovered that this third has just gone down here for TLO, and TLO now using quite a lot of roaches. Right now we see 9 roaches on the production tab, which is a very, very unusual choice. In ZVT, roaches are not that commonly used. They are used early on to try to defend against Hellions normally, but that's about it. We don't see a lot of Hellions going into the mid game unless his opponent is committing to a very, very heavy mech style play. And even then, it's not my favorite thing in the world, just because siege tanks, well-placed siege tanks, can take out roaches fairly easily. So right now we see GoOdy getting ready to gear up to take his third. The destructible rocks to the back of his third have been taken down here by TLO. TLO is going to be poking in here and just seeing that no third has yet gone down. And GoOdy, interestingly enough, is producing a lot of Vikings right now. He's producing 4 Vikings, and it looks like Thor production has now begun for GoOdy. Thors are on the way, as well as we do still have Hellions being produced here. So it looks like it is going to be heavy mech play here from GoOdy. So this decision from TLO to go for heavy roach play, and ooh, looks like we're actually going to be having heavy roach drops here from TLOs. He's now moving forward with a lot of overlords all loaded up with a ton of roaches. It looks like it's going to be a big roach drop here from TLO. One overseer is up ahead of the pack, and it looks like it's going to be taken down so fast. There is so much anti-air there right now, and it looks like there was even a queen loaded up in that mess, and holy cow, that's a lot of roaches. Now just moving straight for the mineral line here of GoOdy, going to try to poke in, deal some damage here. In the meantime, the queen does get taken out, and look at all these marines now being pulled back to come try to deal with this, and I don't know that this is the best decision here from TLO. He's actually losing a lot of roaches here, and he hasn't really done all that much damage so far. We can see only 3 workers were killed for TLO, and not that many army units were killed. There is a detector here, so he does know about this. In the meantime, there was a Zergling run by here at the front. Looks like these are going to try to deal some damage here, but not too much, as those SCVs were pulled off the line in time here by GoOdy, and it looks like all is now going to be restored to GoOdy. Not that much damage was dealt, but if we check out the units lost tab right now, we can see that TLO actually lost a lot more than GoOdy in that exchange. Right now, he's up to double, almost triple the amount that that GoOdy has lost. GoOdy has lost about, well, actually no, now it's starting to come down to about half of what GoOdy has lost so far. TLO does have this burrowed Zergling to prevent this third from being taken, and whoa, looks like maybe a rally, bad rally here from TLO, as all his overlords are now moving across the map, going to be moving into his opponent's base. On the production tab right now, we can see that the double evolution chamber currently researching +1 melee attacks, as well as +2 carapace for ground units for TLO, and he just now started an infestation pit. Now all of his forces are now being pulled back there off of that bad rally point there. He actually had quite a few things actually moving across the map there, all because of that bad rally, and he's now going to be moving back, taking his 4th base, and getting well saturated in his third, just now taking his 5th and 6th gas geysers. But it looks like GoOdy might trying to be going for some kind of a little bit of attack here, as he's now moving for a big play and taking map control. I really, really like this play here from GoOdy. He's now moving out. He's using Vikings and Hellions, because these are both very, very good at controlling the map. But there's going to be a big Zergling counterattack here going for TLO, moving into the third. There is a siege tank here that is going to be able to get picked off. The Blue Flame Hellions now pulling back to try to take out the remainder of these Zerglings, but the siege tank does go down. Some Zerglings did get burrowed there in that little mix, and ooh, is GoOdy going to be aware of that? Is he going to be aware that he didn't just roast all those Zerglings, and that some of them are actually still there? So if he moves out of here, these 4 Zerglings are going to be able to unburrow, get back out again, start dealing some more worker damage. And ooh, there we do now have missile turrets going down there, so that, as long as GoOdy keeps its army here for a little while, is going to be pretty strong, and he's going to be able to deal with those Zerglings quite easily. In the meantime, look at the creep spread for TLO. I've got to say, for a guy that doesn't play Zerg, creep spread for TLO right now is better than a lot of pro Zerg players that I've seen lately. That is just so good. The whole map is just all nice and gooped up by TLO, and now TLO is trying to be a little bit aggressive here with this Roach Ling composition, but so far has been unable to really do all that much damage. Looks like the Lings finally did get taken out there at that third base of GoOdy, and GoOdy's going to be looking very strong here. 3 base economy for Zerg can be for Terran rather, can be very, very strong, and TLO trying to sneak in, trying to do some poking and prodding here and there, but just not really able to quite do as much damage as he really needs to do. If we check out the workers killed count, so far only 5 workers killed for TLO to the 14 workers killed for GoOdy. On the Harvester tab though, both players about dead even right now. As we can see, TLO sitting at about 81 harvesters to the 78 of GoOdy. And now it looks like TLO doing something very interesting. He's moving a lot of overlords in here. That's way more than he's going to need to be able to lift up that small ground force. All of his forces are kind of spread out all over the map right now, and this Banshee's going to start to do a lot of harassment here to this 4th base. Lots of workers being killed, but it looks like those Spore Crawlers are going to finally be finished up, and it looks like TLO is going to be going for another big drop here at this 3rd base. He's now going to be moving in, and there are a lot of missile turrets here, as well as a decent number of forces here to be able to defend, and ooh, is TLO going to do it? He's going to be moving forward there, and now GoOdy is aware of it, and it looks like TLO has decided to just pull back. In the meantime, these Vikings continuing to move around the map, as well as these Hellions. I really, really like this play from GoOdy. He's building up a very core force of Marines, Siege Tanks, and Thors, which is very, very strong in direct engagements, but in the meantime, he's sending small groups of Hellions and Vikings out into the middle of the map to take full map control, both ground and air map control, and look at this. Now he's just punishing TLO so badly for having so many overlords out, so many overlords going down, and TLO is going to be severely supply blocked here if he loses too much of his army. He is sitting at 200 food, but so is GoOdy, and GoOdy's army right now is going to be looking so strong. All his mech right now are currently +1 in upgrades, soon going to be +2 in attack upgrades as well, and now there's just so many forces out here. Ooh, man, looks like those Vikings are going to be able to get away. These infestors are completely out of energy right now, but TLO producing a lot of infestors right now. We do see Hive Tech is currently up for TLO, +2 melee attacks currently coming up. Ultralisk Cavern just now finishing for TLO, so it looks like as he loses his army, he is going to be reinforcing here with a lot of Ultralisks, but look at the forces of GoOdy now moving out. This is such a crazy mix of units. This is going to be so hard for TLO to be able to deal with. Lots of Siege Tanks, a small number of Marines, some Hellions, and boom, big fungal growth goes down right now for TLO. Lands so many units in that fungal growth, but oh man, the Hellion count here is very, very high, and these Thors are going to be very, very strong. They are currently +2 in attack upgrades. They're going to be able to do so much damage to these Roaches, and if these Siege Tanks are sieged up well, they will as well. So now GoOdy is going to be moving into the 3rd base here of TLO, trying to do some damage. TLO does have a couple of Zerglings that he tried to go for a little bit of a run by there, not doing as much damage though as he would have liked, as now the forces of GoOdy are now moving forward. Holy cow, so many good fungal growths going down right now by TLO, really, really diminishing some of the forces of GoOdy. I really, really like that, but he's losing so many workers at this 3rd base. 4th is up and running, but no gas yet mining there at that 4th base, and now he's really going to be contained to just 2 bases, and he's really, really low on resources on both of those bases. And GoOdy just continuing to reinforce so strong right now, throwing down another command center, most likely going to be taking this gold expansion here very soon, and I don't know if TLO is going to be able to come back from this. Where is all of TLO's army? On the production tab right now, we can see there are a ton of infestors. We see that there are 6 Ultralisks currently on the way, and we see a lot of units being loaded up into these overlords to be able to, so that he can drop them right on top of the siege tanks without them taking too much siege tank fire. As we can see, all these overlords now dropping all these units all over those siege tanks, and what is going to be happening here? I can't even tell what's going on under all this all that mess. I think it was a mistake loading up all those infestors. Those infestors actually didn't really do that much. They pretty much just got dropped and insta-died, but now Ultralisks are out here for TLO. They're going to be moving forward, and it looks like he is going to be able to clean up this attack force now with all these Ultralisks. Yes, there's a Thor that's misrallied that is going to be able to be cleaned up here, but man, so much damage was done to TLO right now. He is down to 62 harvesters. So far, 41 workers killed here for GoOdy, and that is going to be very, very strong for him. He's going to be feeling very confident about taking this gold base right now. He can't actually fully take the gold base, as TLO actually denied it with this one creep tumor. which is kind of an interesting move there by TLO, and it looks like now TLO is actually going to be moving forward with all these Ultralisks doing damage to this orbital command. Notice that GoOdy is also very low in terms of resources. His main is pretty much completely mined out. His natural is getting a little bit low. His third is super oversaturated right now, and now the orbital command was actually taken down. Are you kidding me? That did not get lifted up at all, and now GoOdy's going to have to take another, or he's going to have to make another orbital command. In the meantime, there are some Hellions now moving up into the main. There are Hellions in the third as well. The third has been taken down. TLO trying to burrow some of those drones to be able to stop him, and whoa, actually something funny going on there with those Hellions in the back. In the meantime, Hellions over here also doing some damage. 55 workers killed so far for GoOdy. TLO's economy is just really not doing that well right now. If we check out the units or the resources that he's collecting, he's really not gathering that much. This is really his only mining base right now, as his natural's pretty much mined out, his main is mined out, and he has no other bases right now. Looks like TLO is going to start to go on the offensive. These Ultralisks are currently 2-2 in upgrades, and he's going to have to really do everything he can to be able to defend this base. He's got 2 queens on the ramp, going to prevent those Hellions from getting into this third base, which I think is a brilliant move here from TLO. All these Ultralisks now going to come in, be able to finish off all the rest of those Hellions. But what is GoOdy's army looking like right now? On the production tab, we see a lot of Thors continuing to be produced, as well as siege tanks, which I think is a very, very smart move for GoOdy, as siege tanks are Thors rather, are really, really hard to counter right now for Zerg. Ever since that Infestor range nerf, it's so hard for Zergs to be able to take out Thors, especially once they get into the larger numbers. Once you get into about 6 Thors or more, it can be so hard to deal with. Very, very hard, since Infestors can no longer just mind control them. Now, GoOdy is landing some Vikings here in the third base of TLO, gonna deny a lot of mining, and oh no, lots of workers now being taken out here by GoOdy, as there's nothing to be able to really deal with this at the moment, and so many workers are going down right now here for TLO, and now it looks like GoOdy is just going to be lifting off, picking off a few overlords here, and look at the supply differential between these two players right now. The supply differential currently 200 food to 100 food. That is not the position you want to be in as a Zerg player. Look at this army for GoOdy. He's going to be so strong. I'm actually going to speed this replay up a little bit just so that we can hurry up and get to game 2, because I don't think there's going to be a whole lot TLO is going to be able to do to come back from this right now. He has lost so much right now, and he really just doesn't have that much. On the units tab, we can see that there are only 6 Ultralisks out right now. Well, actually, 6 Ultralisks is nothing to shake a stick at, but of course GoOdy right now has such a high siege tank count. He's going to be so strong. Looks like we are going to have one final engagement here, as TLO is trying to catch as many units as he can on siege, trying to gather all of his forces together. Fungal growth going off, not even catching that many Hellions. Now the Ultralisks are now moving forward. Beautiful fungal growth going down on a lot of units here, but look at all these siege tanks and Thors on the high ground. GG comes out of TLO. Means GoOdy is going to be taking game 1, and we're going to be moving into game 2 right now, ladies and gentlemen, so stick with me for game 2 of GoOdy versus TLO.